What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Pro Source Pod. I'm Eric. This is Nick. Today on this episode, we're going to be talking about weighted balls. So, weighted balls are a very polarizing topic in the baseball world today. Some people are completely for them, some people are completely against them, and there's compelling arguments on both sides. But through trial and error, I personally have found that weighted balls are kind of just exactly what you make them. They're okay. They're okay. Really depends on how you use them. We're gonna give it over to Nick and see what his opinion is.
Well, I mean, it's kind of just like you can get to the same place without putting as much stress on your arm without weighted balls. So it's like just the whole long toss versus weighted balls thing. Like you can do both, you can do one or the other. But it's like if you're doing weighted balls, like you put more stress on your arm because the whole time you're working at a max effort. So you're literally going like a heavier ball down to a ball less than what an actual baseball is.
Yeah.
And you're moving at your fastest speed the whole time. So there's enormous amount of stress because you're moving at your max effort the entire time. Where like if you're doing long toss, it's like your perceived effort, like you're going farther and farther, but your effort levels are going like down the whole time.
Yeah.
So it's like you're going out, but your effort level is never at your max until like your last couple throws. So it's like you're just slowly like gearing up your speed and learning to move faster without trying to max out every single time.
Yeah.
So it's like there's just less stress all around going on you.
In long toss for sure. And like the thing with weighted balls, it's like I don't really agree with throwing them off the mound. Like I don't think there's any reason to throw weighted balls off the mound. Like I know guys, like I see people throwing 3-ounce balls off a mound into a net like 15 feet away. Certain people on this podcast has done that before and hasn't really seen a high ROI. But I do like weighted ball pull downs. I do like weighted ball pull downs just because I think there's like you want to put your arm like to throw faster. There needs to be stress, right? And like whether you get that stress through long toss, max and 10, or weighted balls, or a little bit of both, because you can do that too.
Well, it's the same thing as lifting. Like if you lift and you're getting gains and growing muscle,
Correct.
you're tearing your muscles apart.
Correct. And like when it comes to weighted balls, like you can do that either through a heavier ball or a lighter ball. Like I've pulled down both. I think the heavier ball stuff I don't like as much as the lighter ball stuff because like throwing a 3-ounce ball, right? Say you can throw it 105. Your arm is moving at a faster speed than it's ever moved before. Like your arm, it's pretty simple. Your arm's going to move faster throwing a 3-ounce ball than it is a 5-ounce ball. And that's like, I guess that's like a new adaptation. Like you build an adaptation to be able to move that fast. Like if you do it correctly and you do it enough. Now, like you shouldn't go throw 3-ounce weighted ball pull downs 3 times a week. Maybe do it like twice a month or something like that. But
Well, the other thing though is like if you're doing like plyos and weighted balls, there's like the whole group of now like people don't know how to use them to get ready. Like they're so used to just training with them, doing them, like they have whatever routine they do, and that's fine. But when it comes to actually getting ready for a game, it's like you have to be able to get hot,
yeah,
right? So it's like
you can't go through 3 sets of 10 reverse throws and then roll it. Like you have to also be able.
if you're a starter, it's different because you're going to go through your normal
Yes.
routine and get ready. But if you're a reliever and you got to like, oh, coach, I can't get hot. It's like, that's not good.
That's what I'm saying.
It's like,
that's the point I'm trying to make too. Is like you have to be able to have a routine. That's fine. Like throw plyos, I don't give a fuck. But be able to have the capability to ditch it if you need to. Like, bro, if you're a reliever and like your starter's getting shelled, you need to be ready in 2 hitters. Fuck your plyo routine.
Like, but like
seriously.
if you have like weighted like Driveline, for example, they have like the literal weighted baseballs. So if you had like a 3-ouncer or like a heavy, like a 7-ouncer or whatever the hell you're going to use, and like throw a couple of them like to the catcher getting loose, and then throw a couple like pull downs to the catcher from behind the mound with a 3-ounce.
Yeah.
Hop on the mound. Like I guess that's your routine if like if you're used to plyos. Like
For sure.
Find a way to adapt it so you actually can get ready and get yourself hot
Yeah.
without like being like, well, I can't do my routine.
Yeah.
So it's like if you really need it and that's what you got to rely on to get hot and throw it like your max, like that's fine, but let's figure out a way to make it efficient.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you're not the guy who it's like, well, I can't pitch if I can't do that routine. Because like a lot of people get stuck in that situation where it's like they don't go through
100%.
their hour plyo routine or like their 35 minutes of like reverse throws. Like I don't have any issues with any of it, but like know how to make it game ready.
Yeah. And it's like, especially in today's game, dude, people are just slaves to the routine.
Well, it's also, are you using plyos to strengthen your arm? Like in my head, it's like if you're doing weighted ball stuff, that's going to be like your off season. Like in season, like
sure.
you're doing less of it. Because is it for your warm up, or is it because you're trying to get like benefits and
There's
gains
no
out of it?
reason to throw a 3 or 4 ounce weighted ball in season. There's no reason.
But like that's why I asked. It's like know what it's used for.
For
Is it
sure.
used for arm care? Is it used for like trying to get more gains, like even in season, or is it part of your warm up? So like if it has a specific purpose, you can use it.
Yeah.
But if it's like you're not sure and you're kind of just doing it, really think about why you're doing it. Like, okay, like I'm doing this because I'm trying to get gains. Like, cool. Just know when to use it.
Mhm.
Like, you're not using it on game day then. You know what I mean?
For sure. And like I have no issue with people throwing the weighted balls, like pitchers throwing the weighted balls in season, the heavier ones for a warm up. I think that's totally cool. Like that's no problem. And I actually understand why people do that. Like throwing the 7 ounce or 9 ounce ball on the way out. Like I have no problem with that. But like going back to what you said, it's just knowing why you're doing it, because there's so many cool trendy products out there today, like on the baseball market that you'll see on Instagram, TikTok, whatever. And then people will just buy those and do them because they look cool and everyone else is doing it, but they don't actually know why they're doing it. They just want to fit in and be like everyone else. And like, dude, that's why a lot of people throw plyos. And like, I'll just be straight up.
That's why a lot of people don't go anywhere
That's
throwing
the truth.
plyos, though.
It's
Because
the
they
truth.
kind of just bounce around and like they see someone do something, then they try doing it. They're like, I like it, but like develop your routine and know
Yes.
what your routine's for. Like,
Yeah.
what is it for? It's for training. It's for arm care. It's for warm up. Like, it could be any one of those buckets, and you just stick with it. But like, if you're jumping around back and forth, like I'm
Good
doing it for
luck.
this, that, and the other thing, like you're not going to get results from it.
Good fucking
You
luck.
can do anything and get results. You just have to pick it and be consistent. And hell, if it goes 2 years and you're not seeing anything, maybe you're not doing it right, or it's time to switch it up.
Or that thing's just not for you.
Yeah,
Like,
it
and
could
that's-
be
and that's
that.
no problem. That's the beauty of getting better at anything. It's like, all right, well, I'm gonna try this, and if I do it for a year, 2 years, and it doesn't work, well, time to switch it up. You know what I mean? But it's like, I would rather see a kid do that, like genuinely stick to something for a long period of time, rather than that year of time go through 4 different fucking programs.
And I get why no one like feels like they have the time to do it, because in their head it's like, I gotta get recruited, I gotta get to this spot to get to where I want to go, because Johnny Jacobs jerk
That's
off is
another
throwing
thing,
fucking
yeah.
97
That's
and he's in
another
high
thing.
school. It's like, well, guess what? He's rare. Like
Yeah.
he's getting drafted out of high school. He's probably gonna get a bag. He's gone,
Yeah,
but doesn't mean he's gonna go pro.
that's
Like,
not you.
No, he'll go pro, but it doesn't mean he's gonna make it.
100%.
Because guess what? You know how many cats are out there balling? There's a lot of cats balling
Those
out
cats
there.
can ball out there for sure.
Yeah. And it's like Wake Forest might recruit 25 people for their incoming class. After the fall, 17 of them left. They'll be fine. Like the transfer portal, they'll go get someone. Or like next year's new recruits for the freshman class. Like there's a lot of people that churn in and out of whatever program. And it's like a lot of people, depending on their environment, right? They'll go somewhere they shouldn't go because it's like, I qualify. And they get there and they realize like, oh, I'm not ready for this. Because it's like, it could be the makeup of the player. Like they've been the big dog. They never had to work hard. Now they're pushed. And it's like every single person there is them and better.
Yeah.
And they have the work ethic that person doesn't have. And it's like, I'm out of here. D2, D3, or JUCO, or whatever.
Yeah. And it doesn't really. We're moving very far away from weighted balls, but it doesn't really it doesn't really matter where you play. It really doesn't matter.
Well,
Like,
no, just to tie it back to the whole thing. It's like you have more time than you think. Like everyone's development's different, so it's like if weighted balls aren't working the first 2 months, give it another 2 months. You're gonna see something. Just be consistent with it. Like there's no rush. Even though you might feel like it, you're in high school, you want to go D1, you want to be this guy, dude. You can transfer to whatever school you want
Yeah.
if you go wherever and you play and you dominate and like you have the metrics behind it. Just don't give up and stay consistent. So it's like put yourself in the best situation. It's not about
so true.
it's not about getting there quick.
So true.
Especially if you're trying to get there quick with whatever program, you might get hurt because you shouldn't have moved that fast to get to that speed.
Yeah. 100%.
Like if you're gaining, I don't know, 8 miles an hour in a couple months, like one, how efficient is it? Can you do it repeatedly? Or is it like you do it once and like you don't do it for like another
That's-
couple weeks? Or
Yeah.
you do one pitch out of your 45.
Yeah.
Or is it like, oh, like, no, like he also had a growth spurt. Like there's so many factors that come into it. Like, did you gain weight? Did you not gain weight? Like,
And that's another thing I wanted to talk about too with the weighted balls, and we'll wrap it up after this, but you have to be ready physically to throw weighted balls. Like if you gave weighted balls to a sophomore in high school, me,
who's 145 pounds at most?
yeah, that's
were you like 120?
sophomore year, dude. I was probably like 135.
Yeah. So if you're Gumby or a string bean, you shouldn't be touching them. Yet.
No,
You gotta have some type
you
of
gotta
muscle
pick
on
up.
you.
Yeah, you gotta
Not
pick
even
up the
muscle,
weights
just
for-
weight.
You gotta have weight on you. You gotta have weight, and it's like obviously it depends on your height and stuff.
Yeah, but it's like
you should have
you need a base.
you need a base. You need to have strength.
And if you've never lifted before, don't touch weighted balls.
Don't touch weighted balls. Touch the weight room first. That's a whole nother episode we could do. The weight room is the first thing. If you are a string bean baseball player, a fucking athlete in general, touch the weight room before you do anything else.
And weighted balls
Get
are
strong.
good. They are.
They are good.
It's a stepping stone, though. You don't just
It's-
go to weighted
exactly,
balls.
Exactly. It's a shortcut.
It's a shortcut.
It's a shortcut.
And guess what? People love shortcuts.
People
they look
love
good.
shortcuts. Yep.
They're sexy. It's like, oh, I don't gotta work hard. I can cut the corner. Guess what? Cutting the corner, there's usually a price that you got to pay with it.
There's a price you got to pay somewhere along the line if you're cutting corners.
So it's like if you're a weighted ball person, no problem with it. Figure out what you're using your intention with it is for. All right, stick to it. Don't just give up.
Disney
Like,
World, Fast Pass, awesome. Baseball, Fast Pass, Tommy John. it's
Pretty
the
accurate.
truth. It's the truth.
or torn labia.
All right, guys, that's weighted balls. Thank you for tuning into the Pro Source Pod once again. Eric, Nick, catch you next time.
Peace.